We decided to overhaul the inside of the trailer after the crazy winter we had. It was unusually cold this year, and we ended up running our big buddy heater pretty much 24/7. Relying on propane heat is expensive, but worse, it adds tons of moisture to the inside of your living space, and we wound up growing mold on the paneling near Chad's head. Chad is so sensitive to mold, he's like a canary in a coal mine. His lungs detect the slightest amount of mold and refuse to function. First, we removed the original wall panels and the layer of paper and foam insulation under them. Then we added new mold-resistant foam insulation and reflectix over that. We had learned that reflectix needs a 1-inch air gap to work as efficiently as possible, and living in a metal cube, every increase in R rating counts. After installing the reflectix over the existing metal studs with 1/2-inch self-tapping screws, we framed the entire inside over the top of the reflectix with 2x2 studs to give us the air gap we needed. To attach the wood studs to the metal studs, Chad drilled pilot holes, then used number 8 2-inch lathe screws. After that, we put up the sheetrock just like a standard stick-built house, since our trailer won't be moving again. Then we taped, mudded, and textured the walls. Dunn Edwards is my absolute favorite paint. We used Vinylastic primer from Dunn Edwards for the bare wall, and then their Suprema eggshell paint in Miner's Dust.
In the trailer remodel or rehab or whatever, we are to the window sills or window boxes because we pushed the walls out a little bit. So we're building the window boxes now. Basically the windows, there's 3 windows in the back. 2 of them are 4x28, and the last one's like 5x28. And so, and one of them has an emergency exit, so it's a little bit wider than the other 2. So it's kind of a strange little setup. So in some of the window boxes, we needed 2-inch pieces of wood, and it's really hard to find actual 2-inch pieces. Everything's 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. So when you ask somebody, hey, I'm looking for a 2-inch or a 3-inch piece of wood, you wind up getting a 1.5 or a 2.5-inch piece. So we found these are like baseboards or trim or something like that, and cut them down to size, and we just primered them. They were, originally just kind of this wood, standard wood, so we just used some spray primer to get them a little bit prepared. And then on the other windowsill, we have it's a 3-inch windowsill, so we're actually going to be cutting down a long piece of basically shelving, and we're going to cut it down to 3 inches. That's really our only option, and we're going to use this Craig rip cut. So don't know, I've heard really good things about Craig. I think they're really smart in terms of building different tools to help with woodworking and projects and things. So we'll take some video, we'll show you what it looks like, but and then we'll show you along the way. But that's just kind of the setup, so you can kind of see our first step is just priming all of these sill boxes.
For the window sills, we measured where our cuts needed to be and decided instead of using 45-degree cuts, we were just going to cut them flat, as you can see here, and caulk in the gaps. We used a brad nailer to set the new sills into the studs, and in a couple of cases the brad nails didn't want to go all the way in, so we needed to use a punch tool to tap them down. To cover up the rounded corners of the RV windows, we just cut small triangles out of a wood panel, painted them to match, and then used liquid nails fuse it to cover up the gaps left by the square windowsill. It looks pretty amateurish in the beginning, but after caulking in the gaps and a couple of coats of paint, the sill looks nice and finished. We used Dunn Edwards Suprema Low Sheen in Carrara for the trim. Chad built a platform to put between the 2 twin-size platforms because this trailer was designed for 2 single beds in the back, and we wanted to convert it to a California King. I call it our bed oasis. Here you can see the finished product with the bed made and our little projector. We strapped a projector to the underside of the cabinets and hung some blackout fabric with grommets and hooks to use as a screen, and we have our own little streaming big screen projection TV. Click to subscribe if you'd like to see more slick city ditchers. Thanks for watching and happy off-gridding!